Hello, and welcome to another week of the Xbox North podcast, episode number Forza Horizon 5. That's right, there's no numbers anymore. We just call it the game that was coming out this week, and that's all we're going to talk about. Yeah, that's the episode. Oh, yeah. No, seriously, episode number 24. I'm really happy to be back. I'm really happy to talk to you guys back because after this episode, we'll talk about Forza, and from now on, in the future, we'll just sprinkle chats about our experiences with Forza. We're not going to just keep talking about Forza anymore. You know what I mean?
It's done after this.
It's done after this.
It's finally over.
I assure you. But
we'll just small talk about it from now on.
Tiny bits, tibbits. I promise you. Yeah.
Really release some deal
topic next week.
Yeah, you have my word, folks. But yes, we're back. Episode number 24. Good number. That's a great number.
Can you believe that, Andrew?
24?
24 already.
Oh yeah. That's
every time we start recording one of these, I'm just like, I can't believe another week has blown by already.
Yeah, that's why we should start changing numbers and just start calling it episode number Halo Infinite, right? Like when Halo comes out, Halo.
We'll name it after a game every time.
Yeah, exactly. And then they're like, okay, that's what's the episode about. But no, I'm glad to be back. With me, as always, my two dads, Dan Robertson, Joshua James. I'm so happy to talk to you guys back about this, especially when there's like a AAA game comes out. Ugh, this is so good. It's good. Let me start with you, Mr. Dan Robertson. How are you doing? How's everything going? You spoiled me with something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been doing some fun stuff. I've been playing some video games and everything. It's funny you mentioned AAA games because I've not been actually playing so many AAA games since all these indie games have been coming out. So I've been playing a lot of Superland, which is a pretty interesting game. It's a weird little puzzle game, and I thought it was co-op, but it's not. It's all single player, and it's an interesting puzzle game though. It's been fun playing that. I've been playing Fogs with my girls, so it's like a two-headed dog puzzle game thing that they've been loving.
Nice.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Cat Dog.
Exactly.
It's looked at Nickelodeon.
Yeah. That was immediately
if that was like a DLC or like a skin in a cat dog.
Yeah.
For it.
You can get a cat hat.
Whoa.
So you can put that on one end. You can have a dog on the other end. Oh. But that one's been good. Been playing, my wife's been getting a little bit into the Katamari reroll.
Okay.
So that one's out too. I've been playing Kill It With Fire.
Yes.
It just released this month, which is actually really fun too. It's you're just hunting down spiders with all sorts of like way too many weapons, more than you need. And not necessarily the most effective ones either. You get a revolver in it.
Yeah.
And
not the perfect.
When your goal is to hit a tiny spider that's running around really fast, especially when they run around faster as soon as you startle them, it gets much more difficult with that.
Oh my god. Ooh.
But there is a lot of fire, so you can use that.
Fire. Okay, so it lives up to its name at least.
Yeah, it does live up.
Definitely has at least some fire.
It is a good title.
Yeah.
Kill It With
At the very least, it was mostly Forza today so far, though. Just playing nonstop Forza just to try and catch up with you guys, and I now have more bonus sides than all of you.
Ooh. Oh, there you go. Oh. I guess it records everything and shares it with everybody.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It shares it with everybody, and it shows you little ticks as you're going up too. I was I got I got this many roads revealed, and it was oh, Josh, this many roads revealed. You have 70 something roads, and get to 50. I was okay, this. That many.
I wasn't paying attention enough.
I've been paying attention to levels instead. That's why.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see how the racing works, because I've been in a few solo races now, and it's racing me against all the people on my friends list. But I'm curious.
What do you mean, online?
Your actual, I'm curious if your actual times are on there.
Yeah.
That you did those races in, or if it's just
the drive time.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, they're putting your names on top, but it's just like an actual AI or whatever. Or if it's like a combination of both. If you've done that race, then yeah, you show up like that. If you haven't, then you show up as an AI or whatever.
The AI is good in the game too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very good.
it's pretty good. And if it is you guys, then I fucking smoked you in my races too.
Yeah. Oh well, no. So what it is in the game? So if you're not playing, it's not online. It's not based off our time either. It's based off how we drive the game in the game. So you can say it's like our characteristics. So it's that's why they call it like a drive-atar.
Mm-hmm.
So
you
it's
guys
not
just
like
suck
the
at racing,
ghost.
then.
Yeah, we just suck at racing.
Yeah, just hold on a
really
minute
aggressive.
there. Hold on a minute.
or you have it on easy or something.
Yeah, you might have it on easy. Or actually, I would say average.
Show us the
I don't know
settings.
about that.
Show us the settings.
Yeah.
I saw there was an option for those settings, and I was like, I'm going to leave that alone and see if it chooses for me, or if it's like, so I want to go in there now that I've done a few races and everything and see, is it just set to like easy or whatever? Or does it like auto choose like how bad you are and then pick a difficulty for you, or what?
Well, no, the better you do, it will say, hey, you're doing really well. Do you want to increase difficulty? Okay. So it will do that, so it won't stay static, which is really nice. And if you notice at the beginning of the clip, we have playing, I take forever like just adjusting the AI and stuff, because one thing that always bothered me, it doesn't seem like it happened with this one, but I can hear myself. On repeat. It's like I guess there's like a speaker in the background.
Yeah. Totally.
Perfect. Okay, never mind. And like that's the weird thing about the game when you're playing. There's just like a couple graphical hitches I'll get into later on, but Forza's been great.
Nice.
Yeah. It's fun so far. I've been playing it on performance mode because I wanted to test that out first, and then and my girls had my TV.
Yeah.
So I was a little unfortunate there. I'm going to try it on the big TV later.
I will say don't do the 30 frames. Like it just doesn't feel right anymore for me. I don't know, but that might be just my opinion. It just feels weird doing it on 30 frames now. Like I have to do that game on 60 frames. But that could be me.
That's what I was doing.
Yeah. I think, what is it? Performance is that 60 frames and then quality is 30 frames, and it's just like a graphical image, if I remembered. I don't remember if that's the case, so we'll see. We'll see about that. I don't know. Whichever.
It only mentioned like the 60 frames or 30 frames in the actual setting there. So I think they're both still in 4K. I'm not sure what they downgraded to get that 60 frames exactly, but
yeah, that sounds kind of whichever.
I'm gonna test it out.
Yeah, Josh, how about you, man? How are you? I feel like you were about to go on a tangent about Forza, and then I was like,
sorry, I totally got thrown off by hearing. You know, when you hear your own voice in the background, and you're just like, it just like totally just like breaks your train of thought. So if I sounded like I trailed down a weird path there, I totally did. But everything is everything's been good. Kids are having a lot of fun running around the house. Man, I'm glad it hasn't started snowing yet, so we can still like take them out to the park and have a good time out in the backyard. So that's been really good. But it's hard to get to games, especially with the kids. So I'm pretty much just playing at nighttime. But what I have been playing lately, I'm back into Final Fantasy 13s because I do want to beat that. But I've also started It Takes Two. Have any of you tried that yet?
Yeah. Actually, I've been playing that with my wife.
Nice.
She's been having fun with that.
Playing with the wife.
Oh yeah, it's an awesome game. It was funny because I started it with my youngest daughter and quickly realized that maybe not the game for her.
The subject.
Subject matter and everything. It starts with like two parents getting divorced and like the kid
Divorced?
really upset over it. Yeah,
You're
like
like,
because she's just finding out through the window. Like,
and she looks at you and you're like, Daddy, are you trying to tell me something? You're like, no, 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 no.
I was like, we're gonna play a different game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's too
But
hard for kids to watch. Yeah.
me and my
Yeah.
wife started playing the game, and God, that game is amazing. Like straight up amazing. It is so
Awesome
much
co-op.
fun.
Yeah.
It is so creative. Every level has its own like kind of like gimmick to it, its own gameplay twist to it. So one level, like I had these magic nails that could come back to me and I could throw them into places, and Carly had the hammer and she could hook on to the nails or like hammer objects. And there was one level where I had this like sticky, like almost like grenade gun, and she had this match gun, and it could explode the
Like sticky
kind
goo.
of
Yeah,
like blob, yeah, like the sticky goo
yeah.
you could put onto things.
It's
And
like
there's
the
a whole
expanding
like
foam. If you've ever
yeah,
used
it's like
expanding foam, yeah, it's like that. Just it
It's cool.
explodes.
it has like an arch to it, so when you're shooting it, but the game is just really good, and the little mechanics for every level, you would think like it they would be trying too much, like, oh, we're gonna like throw a new gameplay mechanic at you every single level, but it works really good, and the
Yeah,
story is pretty endearing, and it's just a fun game. And the fact that it has the balls to be like, no, we are only a co-op game, like that's
Yeah.
the only way you can play this game. But the game is also super forgiving as well. So like you can kill
yeah.
yourself, you just come back to life. If you're fighting a boss, like you'll kind of like go on your knee and you can like press Y and like come back to life. And like a game like
We
that,
have like the heart timing out, and
yeah,
like
exactly, yeah,
you just have to revive before then. So just the other person has to stay alive for that long, and then you
exactly,
can come
exactly.
back. Yeah,
So and I really enjoyed that because it kind of makes the whole act of playing the game together less stressful. It's more just
yeah,
like you're just enjoying the fun of the gameplay itself, and the gameplay is fantastic. Very tight, um, very imaginative. It's great. And of course, I've been playing Forza as well. So,
Yeah.
oh, hell yeah.
but we'll talk about Forza soon.
Yeah. Awesome.
Both of those two have cool little like mini games kind of within the game too. So there's like these little mini challenges where you're like battling your co-op partner in It Takes Two.
Yeah.
And in Forza, I was noticing they got like Forza Arcade and everything. So you can get in groups of people and everything, and you're like cooperatively kind of competing against each other in some ways too. Like you gotta break up. You're kind of completing a group goal, but you're competing against each other too. So you kind of still rank in it. It's cool.
I should. Yeah, I should try It Takes Two.
No,
Absolutely.
I think yeah, maybe we'll go through it, Andrew, or something.
Yeah, for sure.
But Andrew, what about yourself? What have you been playing up
Uh,
to? Yeah.
what is it? Like personally,
What
well,
is our rising star doing, right?
yeah, well, I mean, after like finishing that like reshoot, like I got into like that lull where like after you do something that you really like and you have to go back to like your day job and you're just like, I wish I'm not here. But then it was so good that like Forza literally was the next day that it came out. Like on Monday, for some reason, Monday actually came out at Monday midnight for some odd reason. So I got like that's why I'm ahead. That's why I'm a little bit of a higher level because I had like the late night of Monday night. Midnight to work on.
You're playing all night.
Oh yeah, but I mean, yeah, gaming wise, obviously, I'm probably gonna stop playing Age of Empires 4 now because it
How
does
is
feel
that,
like
by the way?
it's just like I'll just personally say that like for RTS games, like the skirmish games will be fun when you're playing with friends and here and now. But I've always loved a great campaign in RTS games. Like I've always loved StarCraft 2's campaign. Obviously, we talk about Halo Wars, but even with Halo Wars, every RTS game always had like a really cool campaign where you had these characters that were like these tiny sprites, right? And like you were just happy to do these little missions with them, or they were like, gameplay variants of potential multiplayer modes. And with Age of Empires 4, it doesn't have this. It just has this really boring History Channel thing that keeps going on about like, and this is what happened here, and this is help move these, and I'm just like, like I don't know, like I don't know who was like the person who was behind.
History is boring?
No, I love history. I really love history, but I just felt like
the answer is a little monotonous. Yeah.
Yeah, I just felt kind of like very tired playing these campaigns, and some people will debate me and say like, no, I like this little History Channel aspect, but I grew up at a time where I was like really into like these like campaign storylines for RTS games. I miss like the cinematics of those games, and I'm not getting that with this new Age of Empires 4, and I just feel like I'm kind of now getting a little tired of it. So I was just I don't know. I'm happy the game came out. I'm really happy that Microsoft had made Age of Empires a priority. I just didn't like the shot that they took. That's all. I'm still happy playing it, skirmishes. Dan, if you're coming on, or Josh, I'd love to play skirmish with you guys. It'd be a lot of fun, but it'll take like 2 hours to finish, though. You know what I mean? Or like an hour and a half, maybe, if we kind of rush.
Night.
Yeah, a full night. But yeah, other than that, I'm just obviously after Forza, I'm waiting for Grand Theft Auto San Andreas and all these other games. But yeah, what can I say? We should all now just get to it. We should all just talk about Forza Horizon 5, because obviously we said to ourselves that's going to be our first topic. But right now, let me let you guys know what I feel about Forza Horizon 5. It's like I feel like this game hasn't been giving the credit that it's due. Like, it's always been critically acclaimed, but I don't think commercially it got that credit that it's been due. And I'm finally happy to see that the results are going for this game. I don't know how you guys feel, but obviously, Forza Horizon 5 got released and it surpassed 4.5 million players in the first 2 days of it officially being out. It's the most successful Xbox studio. It's also the top 10 most played games on Steam. I'm just happy for Playground Games because I feel like this game was always kind of looked as the other brother of Forza Motorsport. And for me, I love racing games, but I've always loved arcade racing games more. And this is up my alley. This is up my alley more than Forza or Gran Turismo and all the other ones. And there was a big saying that a lot of my friends used to say, every time there's a new next generation game comes out, make sure to look at the racing game that's about to show, because that racing game will show the graphics. And I think this is it. It's pretty. Obviously, there's tiny little glitches, whatever. No game's perfect. But my gosh, guys, I'm just so happy about it. I want to hear from everybody.
So, the weird glitch, I just took a video of it. It switched from day to nighttime, like a light switch turning on.
Yeah.
And there was this weird arch around the sun. It kind of looked like a squiggly line. And I tried to get a good image of it in photo mode, but I could never catch it in photo mode. You could only see it in this one particular race. So I don't know. I'll try and take a video of it so you can see, but the game is absolutely gorgeous. It has 3 times the concurrent player at Forza Horizon's peak of concurrent players. This game is a mega hit. This game is in the caliber of Call of Duty, Halo.
There was loads of people online. The map was just full of people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it has definitely surpassed Motorsport for sure as
absolutely
the
epitome
priority and pinnacle of the Forza series for sure. And it definitely has its own identity for sure.
I will say getting into a racing match took forever, but that could be just first day lulls.
That didn't take me too long to.
It took me along on Monday midnight, but that could be because it was a launch day thing.
I think they've already hot patched it too.
Yeah, that's true. The other thing that I was going to say is that a lot of people are complaining at the load times, but the thing is when you're playing multiplayer, you're also playing against Xbox One players. and
Yeah, I
PC
was
players.
gonna say like I could
And
see
that is a
maybe on the
thing that
Xbox
nobody's.
One, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I
My
had
one
like no
friend
load times.
My one friend's been playing on the Xbox One, and he said the load times are ridiculous. But I'm also like, come on, you have a 7-year-old console. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, no SSD. Yeah, the load times are pretty quick, so it's really
Yeah.
it's
It shows you the night and day difference between friggin' Xbox Series X and the old generation, the
yeah.
Xbox
well,
One.
if you could switch to night and day like that, come on, man.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah. It was just like I love that you can just like hot swap your cars basically.
Oh yeah.
Like with the
Oh, yeah.
Series X, it takes 0 time. I'm just
Yeah.
like I was starting a race like on the Forza Arcade, and it was
Yeah.
like you have 50 seconds left, and I was like, okay, well I'll just take a look around, and like I was like, oh, I got this car that might work a little better for this race than the one I'm
Yeah.
actually driving right now. I'm like, I'll try swapping it, and yeah, it just drops you in like almost the exact same place, maybe a little bit off, but you're in the same general area and everything, and like maybe facing a different way. And then
Yeah.
it was just off to the races and off I go.
Mm-hmm.
It was like I jumped into my McLaren and just like sped past everybody, and I was
Yeah.
the first one back when we were driving back too. So
I was gonna say my one tiny. Well, it seems like the most like common feedback you see in like reviewers is like it's a little bit of Forza Horizon 4, but I don't. I was gonna say like if it's not broken, don't fix it approach, and I'm a fan of that approach. I don't know what you guys think. Like
Well,
what do you feel if do you feel like it's a really big leap from Forza Horizon 4, or do you feel like it's a great fine tune of already a great game?
I don't feel like it's a huge leap from Forza Horizon 4. I would say graphically, um, it is iterative on top of what Forza Horizon 4 brought, especially terrain. Like you can say this definitely brought in the just variation of terrain, but it's still like very open fields and it is 50, what did they say, like 50% bigger than the
Yeah.
last map.
Yeah.
So it's a bigger playground. Like it is definitely a bigger playground, but the graphics are just
Yeah.
uh, absolutely amazing, and it makes me curious where this series is going to go next. Um, which I kind of want to talk about what we would want to see out of the, like, now that we've kind of explored Mexico a bit, seen the different biomes,
Yeah.
almost feels like Australia from Forza Horizon 3, but like an even bigger and better version of that.
Yeah.
Because I loved the map for Forza Horizon 3 over 4, where 4 kind of felt samey across the board.
Yeah.
Where I like
yeah,
when you travel across the map, it almost feels like you're going to like different
Different areas.
um,
Yeah.
everyone
yeah.
says biome, yeah, like almost like different levels and stuff. But I would love to see the next one because there is limitations for this game, right? It is on the Xbox One. They did design it around there.
Yeah.
And they definitely like squeeze everything out of those first generation consoles. But I would bet money that the next one will be Tokyo.
Oh.
They will do
That'd
the
be awesome.
city.
Yeah.
They will have like neon
Yeah.
colors. They will have like screens with images all over it. They will do crazy stuff. And I bet they'll say, look, we could never do these huge cities, this like amazing island of um, Japan, and
Yeah.
make it look like this technological
Yeah.
wonder with variations in um, area. Like imagine driving down the road and it's just cherry blossom trees just all along during
Yeah,
the spring
that's what I was
season and
picturing.
stuff like.
Yeah.
And then like driving into like an actual like full metropolis that's like living and breathing with people walking around.
Yeah.
Um, I think that's where Forza is going to go with their engine, especially. And I feel like because the game is still like small towns and
Mhm.
open fields and like stuff like that, I feel like Tokyo is where they need to go to bring the mixture of small towns but a huge city.
Yeah.
Like a crazy looking city and something that looks dope at nighttime. Lots of like, I'm just picturing like neon colors, and bring up the customization even more. Like remember like Need for Speed Underground? I would almost love to see them go down like almost like a sub game in Horizon that goes down like when it hits nighttime in the game, that's when like people bring out like their
Street
Supras
racing
with
cards,
with the glow underneath, with the glow underneath the car and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like when Underground was coming out, that's when like Fast and the Furious was all about like that like mod.
I think Tokyo Drift came out around the same time and stuff. Or
it's true.
One inspired the other. I can't remember which.
But I feel like they both inspired each other in some form. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm I'm in the same camp with that. But I just think it was just really greatly finely tuned as 4. I mean, Forza Horizon 4 was already a great game, but I don't think a lot of people talked about Forza Horizon 4. And oh man, I'm just
dude, that game's huge,
and that game's amazing. Well, I know, but it didn't get that
it had
really
like
big.
20. I think it got to like 24 million players or something like that. Something insane.
This game's gonna have like some crazy numbers by end of year.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this game is gonna surpass that. But you know, we got Halo coming.
That's true.
In like a month. Yeah. So like this being the most successful Xbox Studio launch ever, is Halo Infinite going to be like now? Halo Infinite has a bar.
It's gotta be
like Forza Horizon 5 has set a bar. Now Halo Infinite needs to jump over that bar, and I bet 343 is just like, oh man, you guys really.
Yeah, you
did it.
I will just say, if this is a future for Game Pass where like you get a AAA game every month, like, man, that is like the deal of the century in my opinion. If you get
sometimes even more so.
Yeah, we'll see.
Like that's true.
Yeah, we got
Back for Blood. Would you call that AAA?
Yeah, though it feels
it's close enough that it should be like it's like a nice, finely polished Left 4 Dead, and Left 4 Dead did so well.
It's AA.5, right?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Thank you. It's
AA plus.
Yeah. And so I mean, moving on, we should, because that's enough for Forza.
Would you want to see the game go to Tokyo? Like next?
Yeah.
I think that's the next best progressing step is like you've done all these big expansive cities and everything. It's like, how do you change up the environment enough where it's not just like a forest, a snow area, like jungle, or like trees, hills, or rain or weather and stuff, right? It's like you can have it in big dense cities and everything like you're talking about. And right now I don't think you'd be able to do it in a significant space like here, just because running there's not any real big cities in this Forza. There's just like little towns.
Was Surfer's Paradise in Forza Horizon 3. That was like the biggest city I've seen in her.
Where was wasn't there a Forza Italy?
There was one in Italy, but the city
was it 2 or 3? I don't remember.
The biggest city was definitely Surfer's Paradise.
Yeah.
In 3.
Yeah. I'd love to see like a big like sprawling city have races like going on, bigger highways and everything, and like tighter spaces around corners. Do Tokyo Drift.
Yeah.
Forza Horizon Tokyo Drift.
It'd be crazy if they gave us like and that's another opportunity to expand the game. Like they could make it like individual islands in Japan and like keep on like making it bigger. Because I don't think
make it literally Forza Horizon Tokyo Drift and have like Dom as a playable character.
Oh yeah. But I think the next one they need to, because I hear the next Forza Motorsport game is going to be more of a platform.
Yeah.
And it's losing the number. I think the next Horizon game needs to lose the number like the Motorsport game and go into like a really, really next gen platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I think
I'm loving it. It's great. I love Forza Horizon.
I think we got to see more games like slowly doing that, and like it's easy to say that being a Series X owner and everything, because like I know for a fact like this is the first console I've had like very early on, and I know there's going to be a lot of people who are like, give me the game still because like I still got this console and I can't quite afford to go to the next one yet or whatever. But still, like I want to see some of these games like move over to that so that we can really see what it's starting to do.
Yeah. I think
Like
one more year.
I think we'll see that
of.
next week. Hopefully, we'll see it.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
coming off the release of this, how awesome would it be to show off Fable at their 20-year anniversary on the 15th and be like, oh, you loved our Horizon 5 and you thought that game looked good and was cool. This is what we've been working on for the last 4 years as well. Here's Fable, and give me that. But Horizon is so gorgeous, and you can see so far in that game, and it's mind-blowing.
Yeah. We should all play together again. We should do a...
Oh, yeah. We'll play like tonight if we can.
Yeah.
Convoy. We'll do the Convoy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Let's just not do a Goliath. I don't know if you guys have done a Goliath yet, but a Goliath is like running around the whole map, doing like one giant lap around the whole map.
I want to do that.
I just did that like 20 minutes before this podcast, and I was about to be like, am I going to finish this before our podcast starts? Like, so I was like, holy crap. I paused and I was like, oh, this is what I signed up for. And I was like, okay, I made the wrong choice here, but
at least it has resume and it works.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Yeah. I also got to try the Battle Royale. You got to try all the other stuff. There's still so much to try in that game, by the way. Like, I just did like the little mini modes.
They've got a lot in there, and like it's surprising that it doesn't feel like it's too densely packed. Mm-hmm. Like there's just a lot of content and everything, and you can kind of drift from one to the other. You can stick with like the ones that you just enjoy.
Yeah. Like that. Damn. Yeah. I heard that.
Yeah. Drift
because you drift your car.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? That's what you meant, right?
That's amazing. Yeah. Is that all it?
In and out of consciousness?
Yeah. Would we say, is that all it for Forza? I mean, obviously we're going to keep talking about it every week probably, but would that be the accumulation?
Can we move on?
Can we actually move? Yeah, I don't know.
Forza coffee.
There's some pretty big announcements on that Back for Blood goodness.
Yes, absolutely. Because, hey, it had a successful launch. Probably nowhere as Forza.
I give that transition a 3 out of 10.
Hey, you know what? Give me a break.
It was fabulous.
Yeah, give me a break. I will. I mean, it's hard. It's hard because I think, let's be honest, like, for this remainder, like, since our podcast, we've talked about, like, Halo and Forza, but we secretly keep going, but let's not forget about Forza. You know what I mean? We always said,
hard when there's no cars in Back for Blood and there's no blood in Forza.
Yeah, exactly. But all in all, I'm happy with Forza. Now, moving on, we should talk about Back for Blood, because you know what? It was a successful launch on Game Pass. I played it. You guys played it. Turtle Rock Studios has finally given us more insight on the roadmap for this game and what to expect in the next couple of months and coming year. It looks like we're getting 3 expansions, part of the annual pass. The first expansion is called Tunnel of Terror, and with the other 2 still on, but all coming on 2022. And then the usual things like more weapons, skill cards, enemy type. Now that we know that there is a real roadmap for this game, are you guys buying the annual pass? Mind you, it's $49.99 Canadian. That's that's like a price of a game when we were kids.
That's like a tough sell still. It's like
tough sell.
Like $20 okay, but like I'm gonna have to make room for that if we're still playing it lots.
Yeah,
I kind of want to see more about what it's about. Yeah,
I mean, if let's just say if they made a trailer for this and they were hypothetically showing it instead of this little big poster, and I think it's a nice poster and all that stuff, what would you want to see out of this future of this game? Because I would not. Yeah, 50. Yeah, I feel like unanimously we all said no on that $50.
I mean, that's just it. Is like it's like it's hard enough for me right now to make the time to. I'm still trying to work on getting the cards that I want.
Yeah.
To be able to play the class that I really want. And
Mm-hmm.
like the most I found out so far is that I know I can get it through the supply lines. So I'm just working my way through those as quickly as I can and like buying up entire lines so that I can get to the next one until I can find that card because like I want to, like on solo mode, you can build up the deck however you want because you have all the cards. But when you're playing with other users and everything, like you need to actually unlock the cards first through either supply lines or unlocking them through special achievements and stuff that you're doing in the game. And so I've got a nice, decent shotgun setup right now, but it works way better in solo than it does in multiplayer because I'm missing one of my main cards too, which whenever I get temporary health, I also get bonus damage protection, basically. So I take less damage as well as getting temporary health whenever I shoot him with my shotgun. So I gain the temporary life, and then that temporary life gives me damage resistance. So my guy just becomes much more powerful. And it's hard for me to do that because, I can't get that one thing just yet. So it'd be interesting to... Yeah, it'd be interesting to see like their deck builds, how those change with the cards they add.
Yeah.
Well, I hear that they're going to make a single like solo play.
Progression. Yep, they're going to fix.
They're going to fix the progression in solo play. So that's good that they're at least looking into that, and they said they are going to balance how many like special zombies they send at you because sometimes it's crazy. Like sometimes it's like back to back. Like why am I dealing with like 3 special zombies and like a horde coming at me at the same time?
Yeah.
I've had it up to like 5 special zombies and like 2 hordes almost. Because it's just like, somebody startles some birds. Or it's like, there's a group of birds nearby and like you get thrown at like with one horde and then there's guys coming at you and people start going down and like you're trying to frantically take those out and you end up scaring some more birds or like hitting one of the alarm doors or something and then you got even more stuff coming at you.
I almost feel like those special zombies should be like a lot rarer and harder.
Yeah.
Because if they showed up just like once in a while instead of like all the time with multiple, like they just don't feel like much of a threat instead of like just another roadblock. Where I remember in like Left 4 Dead when you heard like the scream of that, like those things were terrifying. So they definitely need to work on balancing and a lot of things like that. But I'm very much enjoying the game. That annual pass is expensive though, $49.
Yeah, that's
Mind
game
you,
price
that's
money.
Canadian.
Yeah,
that's Canadian, and it's probably like $39 American or something.
Yeah, it's still a lot.
Yeah,
$49 is a lot of money, and I will probably wait to see what this first expansion actually like has in store. And what the actual look of it and the weapons and what are the tweaks they're going to be doing to the game itself for it. So
who knows? Maybe they'll
pull that up again here. It's like, so you're getting new features, new supply lines, a ridden practice area. So you in the game currently in the menu like area, you have a like test area where you can test out all the weapons and stuff, but it's
which
just
I
on
really
dummies.
enjoy.
Yeah, I really like that because you can battle each other in there too, so that's kind of fun just while you're picking stuff and deciding what to do. And you get to test out some of the weapons and everything. But yeah, it'd be nice to actually try it on some of the zombies and see how they die with and everything. The solo offline with campaign progression would be a lot nicer because, right now you can play in the solo, but it doesn't really progress much.
Yeah.
Like new card types, so that'll be interesting. It'll be a different card type altogether. Because currently there's what are the card types currently? I forget what exactly they are, but like they're more like health focused or like more aggressively focused.
Yeah, or ammo
sort of thing.
stuff.
And then there's like specialty cards for specific
Yeah.
like traits and
Hmm.
everything. Like I have a specialty shotgun card and everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see that. And then 2022, we're going to get a whole new difficulty, which I mean, I'm struggling with like too many players. Like I find 1 or 2 players is okay. 3 or
Yeah.
4 ends up making it very difficult to get through the level. And that's just on recruit. Like
Yeah.
it'd
Really?
be hard pressed to, yeah, I've noticed like there's a huge leap in difficulty from just a
Recruit
couple of players, and I end
Yeah.
up going in the menu and changing my social status to friends only so that I can just play like with like me and our buddy Ryan or me and one of you guys or something, and then
Mhm.
it's not overwhelming. And
Yeah.
then I could see us like moving to a harder difficulty then, but right now it's like I need more cards before I can even think about moving to the next difficulty, and there's 2 more above recruit, so like
Hopefully they'll-
I don't know if it's going to be an easier difficulty, but I doubt it.
Hopefully
Yeah,
they'll
and
fix the
like,
balance.
but like, in like, what's the point too, right? Like, once you get everything you want, it's like I need that badass looking skin, and it's like,
Yeah, like
but
what
the
do you
game
do?
is fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
is.
is. It's loads of fun. Like apparently there's new co-op modes come in, new corruption cards, new player cards. So that'll be interesting to see. Melee updates. So it'll hopefully change up the melee just a little bit. The one
I'm
thing
curious
I noticed,
what they mean by melee update.
yeah, so the one thing I noticed about the main difference is like the axes have the opposite effects because there's one card that'll give you a melee charge up. And basically all of the swords, the baseball bat and everything, they swing across. So you get like a big swipe of zombies and everything. The
But the
axes,
axes,
there's a little hatchet and there's a big axe, and they both go down. But when you get the melee dash, then you can like swing across with the axes, but you have to charge it up first. And it's a down motion with the baseball bat or the machete or whatever.
okay, so it's like
But it's only
reverse.
when you charge it up, yeah, and it's reversed. So like if you're playing with the axe, then it's good to like one hit zombie, one hit zombie, one hit zombie, and then like charge up and take out a whole horde of them if you're getting surrounded. Whereas with the machete or whatever, it's like, oh, if you're getting surrounded, tap that trigger to like just like start swiping, and you use a little more energy. Or, no, I think you use a little more energy when you're like doing the charged up attack. But then you
Yeah.
charge it up and you can use like the machete or the baseball bat on bigger guys, and you charge it up and use it then.
Oh.
Oh wow.
You know, I really got to start working on like builds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I got a melee build and a shoddy build so far, but I want to work on some other ones too.
Shotties are fun in the game.
Yeah.
They're really fun, especially the AA-12. Like I get that going, and like I'm almost unstoppable. It's great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, all in all, I hope the game has a bright future. I hope it stays in Game Pass.
Yeah.
Maybe if the annual pass goes on sale, I'll grab it. You know, it'll probably go on sale once the first expansion comes out or something like that.
Like $25 or something, like $25. Like I could swing.
All in. Yeah.
Like $50, like it starts to get a little out of hand. Like I'd really prefer it if we could keep it down to like $15, but
Yeah. Like and that's the whole thing with the expansion. Like, like I feel
and
like,
how often am I going to be buying this? Is this going to be a one-time purchase forever?
well, it says annual. It's called annual.
It's a year.
pass.
Yeah.
Per year.
So I mean, $50 a year every year for this. It's like I can swing less than that.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm already getting all the Game Pass games.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Secretly, I just want Microsoft to buy Turtle Rock, and so those like just like ongoing updates can just be part of Game Pass or something. I feel like this game just needs to live on Game Pass, and then the cosmetics and all the other stuff can just make this game money.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Like that's what I feel like this game. Like that's how I think this game would really, really make a lot of money.
Like at least like partner up with them and be like, here you can have the pass for like $20.
Yeah.
How awesome would it be if they bought them and they're like, okay, look, we still want you to make a art, like at least worked with them, and they're like, hey, look, we still want you to make a zombie game, but it's a Halo ODST flood.
Oh man, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Like four like ODST guys like going through fighting the flood.
Yeah.
Essentially like a skin version, like a Halo skin of Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
I would
I could
enjoy
see
that,
that.
especially
Yeah.
with like the plasma
That would
grenades
be
and everything
amazing.
too, and like
Yeah.
the Halo
Oh
weapons.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that'd be so cool, right?
Yeah. I
I
could
think that'd
see
be so
them
cool.
do multiplayer modes for other like stuff. Like I could see them make amazing Gears of War multiplayer modes as well. Like they'd be perfect for that team. Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
The one like section of that game that I struggle with is the sniper class. Like you can build kind of like a deck
Yep.
around that and everything, but
Yeah.
it's mostly going to be geared towards like the bigger specialty guys and everything, and you're going to have to
Yeah.
be taking those out because it's hard to take out too many smaller guys very quickly with them without using your sidearm or something. I guess you're just supposed to use your sidearm, but
Yeah, they also like I've noticed like the ammo stuff is like a very keen thing, so you're constantly making sure
Yeah.
your primary weapon saves up a little bit down the line once you get to the business of
yeah,
Back for Blood. Like that's what I really call
business
it. Like
levels, yeah.
yeah,
Well,
like 'cause the
and
game.
it's good to coordinate having different guns. Like so, like
Yeah,
we know Dan goes shotgun
shot.
melee build. So it's good to
Yeah.
focus on different kind of ammo types for all of us.
hmm Yeah,
So we're not like
submachineers.
running out.
Yeah,
Exactly.
sprint and all that stuff. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know, but
I think it has a bright future though, right?
I agree. I think it was a smart Game Pass decision. I will say that. Business-wise, I think it was a smart decision because I was kind of mulling on waiting for the game to get out with the discount if it was not coming on Game Pass. I was like, I'm excited that it was like the Left 4 Dead developers, but I was like, ooh, I don't know. Is this gonna game have like a lot of long life after I played it? And the funny thing is, after I finished the campaign, I was like, I'm only gonna play it if you guys are playing it. And now I'm seeing this annual pass, and I'm like, I'm only gonna do it if you guys are buying the annual pass, and you guys aren't. So I'm just gonna be
Yeah.
like, no.
That's
I
what I
like
mean.
this
Like,
model, at least.
yeah, I'm still excited to see what they're gonna like throw with that. Like, because I mean, that's a decent amount of money,
Yeah.
and like, if you're going to produce what you're talking about here and like make
Yeah.
it worth my while, then
Yeah.
maybe.
If the
But it's got to be
expansion,
worth my while.
yeah, if the expansions are like full giant acts, you know what I mean? If there's like if these expansions are very thorough and big, then maybe I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
Destiny's got these like massive expansions and everything, and they were just
Yeah.
including them on Game Pass. It's like if a big
Not the
heavy
Xbox.
hitter
Not
like that
anymore.
can do it,
Yeah.
yeah, not anymore, but
Yeah.
like I don't know if it just wasn't feasible for them, but even then, their like seasons pass is like $12 or something.
That's true. That's
We'll
true.
see.
We'll see.
We'll see. I think they'll get Witch Queen. Phil
Yeah.
Spencer's a Destiny junkie, so
Yeah. He's gonna be
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to pay for that, but I want it. I want it.
What
It's like
can you do?
I can easily afford that.
Yeah. What can
Yeah,
Like,
if I can
Xbox do
get
for you,
Xbox to
Bungie?
pay for it. Yeah.
We'll make sure
Yeah.
Xbox is synonymous for
Yeah.
Destiny. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully Bungie can also with the whole like the dungeon shit. I mean, we talked about that last week, so whatever. We'll leave it to that.
Well, talking about another game that wants to be, well, Microsoft wants to be synonymous with Xbox is Elden Ring.
Ooh, Elden Ring.
Yeah.
The Elden Ring.
Elden Ring.
What a pretty looking game. Elden Ring had
Cool
a
looking game. Jesus.
20 minutes in presentation and a technical test over the weekend, and after this we can see why the hype is so high. This 20-minute yeah, it's a great overview because it went into the details like traversing around the open world and how the map looks like and the open world encounters and combat mechanics. Yeah, I mean just looking at that picture, I mean like holy crap, this game is pretty.
For those of you that can't see it, we've got two images for Elden Ring.
Yeah.
The first one is just like knights, a couple of different class setups, just fighting a massive creature with a giant axe and everything. So it's good. Like it's like Iron Giant sized monster that you're going to be fighting. So it's definitely reminiscent of Colossus.
Yeah.
And then the second image we've got is just of the map expanse and everything, and it looks like it's going to be fun just to traverse around.
And this is just one little corner of the map too.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah.
Hugely vertical. They've got nice like abilities and everything, all these glowing golden trees and everything everywhere. I think it's going to be cool.
Yeah, definitely the artistic direction for this game is really really interesting. Obviously based off of their past work like Demon Souls and Dark Souls, but
Yeah.
taken to just
Yeah.
like a completely other level, like a golden like huge tree in the background. Like it is
Mhm.
super fantasy this
Yeah.
time around. I'm not saying like the other ones weren't. They had like dragons and crazy stuff like this, but the world itself just seems like a crazy fantasy world, and the art style is just
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. And honestly,
Um,
one of the things that I'm most excited about is actually the map and how
yeah.
the map works. I really
Yeah.
like that they have custom markers for different materials and stuff that where you can kind of mark the map how you want to. And there's even the beacons too, so you can see them on the live version of the map too.
Yeah.
And it seems like the terrain, like different sections of the map are like almost at like different elevations. Probably has to do with like loading and stuff. You know, you have one area that's elevated and stuff and doesn't have to load anything over there. So
That's
because
clever. I
this
didn't
game,
think about that.
yeah, right. This game is also on last generation consoles as well. So there are, limitations they are working with, but most games are scalable. But have you guys ever played a
Yeah.
Souls like?
Yeah. Yeah. I played Bloodborne, the original Bloodborne. I played Demon Souls. And I will say it's it's no laughing matter, man. That's like I give all the praise for people who beat those games. But I suck at those
Yeah.
games. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've always been a hack and slasher, but perhaps I can always give it another shot. You know what I mean?
I
But
think I'm excited for this a lot too for their combat system and how it
yeah,
looked fighting
yeah,
the dragon that he was fighting and everything. Like
Co-op.
yeah. It does
yeah,
have co-op. It does have co-op. Yeah,
yeah.
and it looks like it's
Co-op, there's three
probably
guys.
a lot more fun on co-op. Because
Yeah.
it's pretty hard. The boss
So
It's
fights.
gonna be awesome to combo. And
Yeah.
I was watching this one guy Skill Up's preview for it because they did the technical test over the weekend, and there's this awesome scene in the 20-minute overview where this dragon just comes out of nowhere. It just like slams down, and looks incredible. But
yeah.
the guy, he went in and saw this scene happen, and he went to kind of like the edges of where the dragon is, and he's just like staring at the dragon, just like walking around. And then he notices the dragon just like starts staring at him. And he's like, okay, this is probably just like on some set path. I'm far enough away. It doesn't see me. And no, it's like looking right at him, and it starts like walking towards him. And then he realizes that this dragon is actually hunting me in this area. It's not just some set path. It
Yeah.
is like
Yeah.
legit. Oh, I see
Yeah.
you over there on the edge. I'm going to come over and get
Yeah.
you now. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
this game looks cool. Like, this is
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah,
You
it looked
know,
awesome. And even in just the preview that I watched, it was like just a quick gameplay preview and just like watching him fight the dragon and like slide under it and like cut its neck and then like run up
Oh,
and
yeah.
stab it through the eye and everything. It was just like it was cool to see that amount of interactivity. Like
And the
the
magic.
biggest yeah, exactly. The biggest drawback for me has always been in a lot of games where it's just like, oh, you hit him and they you hit him
yeah.
again and
Yeah.
But if this game was clearly designed to be, well, like the highest fidelity version of this game will be on PC and the Series X, but it was also designed to be on the
PS4
One
and
X,
yeah,
yeah, and the original PS4. And like, my God, like the amount that of like graphical might and just creativity they are just sucking out of the last little bit of these consoles just makes you excited for the latter half of the new generation
oh
of
yeah.
consoles
yeah,
when we are not dealing with this old generation anymore.
It's gonna be
true.
crazy
Because
2 or
if we're
3
getting
years
the
from
games
now.
like Elden Ring still on
Yep.
last gen, dang, like this game looks cool.
Yeah. I
It looks
also,
really, really cool.
you were all
That
like, I think we were
castle.
all, yeah, we were all talking about the lore and all that stuff. I mean, obviously everybody probably knows it, but George R. R. Martin, who wrote Song of Ice and Fire, was behind this as well for writing, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
If you're a Game of
he,
Thrones fan, yeah.
yeah, he helped create the world. He probably
Yeah.
they're
Just a
probably
little.
exaggerating how much he did work on the game.
Yeah.
Like
He
he
said
said
it
he worked
earlier.
on it years and years and years ago.
Yeah.
But did you see that one boss battle at the end where the guy's like talking to the dead dragon, and then he eventually like takes the dragon's head and uses it as like a weapon? So it looks like these boss battles you fight go through so many different phases, and the magic looks awesome. Like I
Yeah.
hear the magic's really powerful, and it makes the game a lot easier.
Yeah.
So it will probably make like noobs like me and Dan over here on Souls-like
Oh,
games
me too. Oh yeah, I'm just terrible
Right.
at it. Yeah.
a lot more accessible. So I think this game might be a buy. If it obviously I'm one of those uh, people who don't buy games. I'm a Game Pass only person, and
Games. Yeah.
I'm not ashamed to say it. If I am going to buy a game, I'm probably going to use my Microsoft points that I've earned. So I do farm those. But I think
Yeah.
I might buy this game. This
Yeah.
game might have just this preview
It
might
looks
have.
good. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't sure about it until I saw all the stuff that they've got on this now. Now I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I've
and
been
it's
I've been
co-op
itching
too,
to
and
play.
we can all play together. Like
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that makes
no,
it
that's the
even
best
more
part.
appealing.
Like
Yeah.
I've been itching for a game that's like Breath of the Wild's like map wise and everything, and then just on top of it having this high fidelity of a like Skyrim-esque RPG too is just
Yeah.
like it just hits all of my happy buttons, and I'm just like, yeah, no, I want this now.
Yeah.
And I hear the game really like it rewards you for exploring. Like that preview I said I was watching, he said like, look at this door over here. There's a boss at the end of this door. Like you would have just missed this thing. And you go down there and you can get a pretty significant item out of it. And that's just like how the game is. The game definitely rewards you for exploring. But if it's, based off these other games like, Demon Souls, Dark Souls,
Yeah.
they're smaller maps. It wasn't open world, but they were fun to explore. So
Yeah.
it's just that, like, expanded to another level, right?
Have you two played Sekiro or anything like that? Because I
No.
haven't played that one, but I've been told that was like a sort of like they kind of fine-tuned it. It's still like a Souls-like game, and it's still a little hard, but that game got like Game of the Years everywhere. You know what I mean?
Nice.
I think.
I'd love to see that go on Game Pass.
Yeah, I think if I can play that game and if I'm enjoying that, then I'm probably going to be like, okay, I'm going to buy Elden Ring because a friend of mine told me that I should try it, but he still says it's still very hard. It's not an easy game, but you might feel like that's a bit of a less of a challenge. He says it's still challenging, but it's not as like because Demon Souls is like not like and Bloodborne.
I heard that's their hardest game.
Sekiro.
I heard Sekiro.
I heard there's
is the
like
hardest game.
I heard it's like yes, it's hard, but it's like I don't know, it's not as crazy as Bloodborne. Like Bloodborne is
No,
like
I guess this depends on who you're asking too. Because
Yeah.
if you're
Yeah,
asking
right.
the players who have just like been through Dark Souls and
Yeah.
been through Bloodborne
Yeah.
and everything,
Yeah.
they're
he's
just like, oh yeah, no, this
Oh,
one's
yeah.
not that bad.
yeah.
It's not that bad. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
700 hours later and
Yeah.
Dark Souls, like just like no,
Yeah.
no, this is easy.
I have
He's like, last week I beat Dark Souls with the Donkey Kong bongo drums.
yeah.
This week I'm going to use the DDR dance mat.
Right?
It's
So they're
funny
just convincing you to get into it.
Yeah. There are people who are like loyalists to these
yeah.
like so like they're like a subgenre of gamers, man. Like the
They've
Souls
got their own
game.
catchphrase.
Yeah.
Just get good, scrub.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It's you know
I'll try
what?
my best.
Yeah. There's certain games that are for certain people and there's certain games that are just, not made for things and some of us can dabble into it and kind of like, it might invoke us and it might, put us into a new genre, but I don't know,
I like
Yeah.
those type of games,
Yeah.
but my family does not sleep while I play those type of games.
Yeah, I'd get too angry. I just get too angry.
Yeah.
You know what
We'll
is
see.
like my kind of like personal favorite type of game, and it always will be. And I feel like this is a great transition to our last subject. For me, it will always be single player RPGs. That will always be my one true love. Um, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited. I'm so excited for more single player RPGs because our last discussion is about Todd Howard having a great interview with Brian McCaffrey on the Unfiltered podcast. He discussed about why they decided to focus on Starfield instead of going right into known hits like the Elder Scrolls series or Fallout. And there's a quote, and I really like this quote. We felt doing something like Starfield we've been wanting to do for something else for a long time and play in a new universe. And so if not now, it's, he's kind of like going back in time because they started right after Fallout 4. So in 2015, if not now, when? And it felt like if we didn't do it then when could be never. And I just love those words because you know what? If you're, like a high-end game studio and you release a game or you release two games kind of periodically and both of them sell, make billions and billions of dollars and you're saying, no, it's not going to be the sequel to the one that's going to make even way more millions. You're making a completely original story and you're probably putting a big budget on it. I'm like, that's pretty bold in my opinion because game makers are not like filmmakers where they can just do whatever. I think game makers often, they're like, we have to make sure the sequel because of X amount of dollars that's probably going to come in.
They're heavily dependent on investors and everything.
Yeah.
Well, and just think of the time when they were greenlighting this game in 2015. Like, this is a completely different Bethesda. This is not the Bethesda owned by Microsoft with the safe cushion underneath them of $1 trillion company now. This was like, the Bethesda where, we're going to do Elder Scrolls Online. We're going to do Fallout 76. These very monetizable games to keep reoccurring revenue coming, and in the end kind of hurt their company, especially Fallout 76. And even though Elder Scrolls Online is one of the biggest online games today, did not start off that way. It definitely started off as a black eye for the company, and just started kind of betraying their philosophy, right? Of we are the single player game studios, but in this world, taking 7 years will be the development time for Starfield.
That's good.
That's a lot of investment.
That's just it. Like, they're building an entirely new universe. Like, they started with like the Elder Scrolls and like moving all the way up. Like, they had a huge amount of time to build up that lore and build up that world and build up everything. And then they were like, okay, if we want to delve into something new, like, it's going to take a huge amount of time. And they properly invested that time. Like, from what I've seen so far, it looks awesome. And like, I'm hoping it holds up to like the standard of Elder Scrolls and everything that we've loved so much for so long. And I think they're going to end up doing that with the time they've invested into it. And it's the best thing they could have done.
And they seem pretty confident in this, the date of
November. Yeah. Hey, that's a long time though. That's a full year, folks. That's a full year.
It's still a full year, but they seem pretty confident.
1 year tomorrow.
Yeah,
exactly. 1 year tomorrow. And they seem pretty confident that they're going to hit that date. But yeah, the fact that they decided to be like, no, we want to do Starfield. And there's not a lot of, from what I know of, especially the Bethesda Studios portion of Bethesda, there's not a lot of turnover in that studio. So the developers, like, these people don't make a little bit of money. They probably make a good, like, six-figure.
They've been there for a while.
Making a good chunk of change every year. So it's not like every year that goes by of developing this game is not a huge expense for them. So taking that risk and kind of, especially going down the sci-fi route, like, you are creating completely new assets. And I hear they're using a little bit of, procedural generating for some of the worlds. So I'm very curious even how big this game is going to be.
Yeah.
in that sense. But from what we know of how long they make games, do we even think we're going to get Elder Scrolls 6 this generation? I don't think so.
I think we will, but I think
think
it's going
so.
to be. I think it's going to be like in the last year of Series X.
Yeah, it'll probably be like one of those cross-gen games or something.
Yeah, like that's what I can see.
I think that brings up the better question of how long do you think this console generation is going to last too?
That's a good question. Yeah.
Is like right now we're reaching a bottleneck of like how much performance and everything we can reasonably get out of a single device like this. Like there's a big reason that Microsoft's moving towards the cloud and everything too, right? Is like we may end up just seeing it on here in a different fashion.
Yeah.
Well, but then again, we haven't really seen games start taking advantage of new software architects like Velocity Architect. What did they call it? Velocity
Architecture?
No, it's something. Yeah, I want to say it's some name. It is. I know what you.
And also there's the Fidelity XX, FX. There's also what is NVIDIA's version of it? DLSS.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's all these like new techniques, and it'll be interesting when you see an actual game developed from the ground up using direct memory, direct ML, all these very forward-thinking software techniques to use the hardware very
and better
unique.
engines and everything too. Like they'll be able to build the worlds that they want to build. Like that's been the biggest limitation for the longest time too, is just having the technology in place to actually be able to accomplish what you're looking to do.
Starfield next year might be like, I don't even know if Redfall might be even a cross-gen game with Xbox One. That could be.
Yeah. That's coming summer. Yeah.
Crazy graphic. But then again, isn't every game cross-gen on Xbox One with the cloud, right?
Yeah,
but
that's true.
We know for a fact that Starfield is only on the series consoles and PC. So they are going to be definitely flexing some hardware muscle.
Yeah.
I hope we see some cool worlds, man. I hope they're like, okay, we know we're on this console. We have this much power. This is. I just want that moment where you're walking into the huge city from Oblivion with the tower in the middle, and like seeing that for the first time in a game, like in the distance, and then walking to it and then walking into it. I want that, but like a sci-fi city version of it.
Like in space and stuff, like flying up to it, docking your ship and everything and getting in there and like, oh, it's going to be crazy.
And just having like the edge of a crater and like seeing a city at the bottom of it and then like driving to it, or
seeing what the AI does even is going to be really interesting just to see how they've developed that. It's like in all the Elder Scroll games and everything, it's like you can, in especially Skyrim at least, it's like you can follow an NPC and they'll live out a whole day. They'll go home, they go and like they actually eat their food and everything, and like they have a path that they'll run around, and it's a variable path and everything too, and like you can watch them go and interact with their friends and stuff, and like they built all of this into that game just to give you the experience of a living world. It'll be interesting to see how friggin' since 2015, like 6-7 years by the time it comes out of development, to see how that AI changes and how intense it is. Not just graphics and everything else. Like that's what makes the world feel a lot more alive. It's all the little details that they bring into it.
And I'm curious how they use procedural generating. Like I'm curious if they made like the AI, the procedural generating engine to create the world on some planets, and then they got their artists to go in and just tweak everything, put the NPCs where they want, just the engine gave it the framework, the artist came in and filled it and made it a more believable place. And I'm curious
like,
if their engine is smart enough to see all those tweaks and changes and be like, okay, next time we'll do it even better for you.
oh yeah,
I think too, like
that's
that's how the metaverse will be like, right?
oh yeah, that's what I want to see like out of this game too. Is just see the ways that you can manipulate it too. Like one of the things that was always kind of held back in Skyrim was like the Assassins Guild and everything. It's like you could do some things, but it was difficult to pull them off sometimes. Like you could leave a poisoned apple in a
Yeah.
place where like an NPC would go to eat its food. And like that NPC would go over there, eat the poisoned apple and die from it. And like you could complete an assassination contract that way. But it was difficult to pull off sometimes, and it was like kind of hard to do in general. Like I'd imagine it's even harder to program an AI to just like want to eat a poisoned apple and everything too, or like just having it eat food on a regular basis and stuff like that. And so just seeing what they do with Starfield with that sort of stuff and like how you can interact with it, how you can change the world and kind of make creative decisions to complete your tasks and stuff is going to be interesting.
And I'm curious, yeah, like they are known for being able to interact with everything. I'm curious how much of the ship becomes almost like your like hoarder like place where you're just like, I wonder if you can like grab like everything and just like put it in your ship and just fill your ship. Like you open like a locker and it just like all
pouring out. Yeah.
You just steal all these mementos from places you've gone.
Yeah.
Reminds me of the duplication glitch, just like having like you had to have a certain amount of arrows with you or whatever, and like however many arrows you had is how many duplications it'd make of the item. And you could do that with like a melon or something, and you just like you drop a melon and you'd quickly switch to your like arrow or whatever and like launch it or something. Or no, you'd go to launch the arrow and then you'd switch over to the item, and it would just create as many arrows or as many items as you had arrows. And so there'd just be like one melon, and just melons would start to pour out of that if you had like hundreds of arrows on you.
Duplicating tricks are the best. Remember the rare candy trick back in Pokemon Red and Blue?
Yeah.
That's the best. That was the best. Got your Magikarp up. Up.
Oh yeah. But you know what? I'm so glad they are focusing on a new property and a sci-fi game. I like sci-fi a lot more than Elder Scrolls 6. I feel like even the idea of Elder Scrolls 6, it's exciting, but like, but the idea of Starfield, that sounds very.
I mean, we've had a lot of Elder Scrolls, and with how much they've thrown Skyrim at us, it's like, okay, just a sci-fi game would be awesome right now. Thank you.
You've done fantasy, you've done post-apocalyptic. Let's go Star Trek. Fantasy.
Also, there's there's Avowed, right? Because Avowed is pretty much like Obsidian's version of Skyrim, essentially, probably. And then also, as much as like I want them to make work on Fallout 5, it's like we also have like the Outer Worlds, which is practically Fallout, in space and.
So Obsidian is filling that niche for us, right?
Yeah, so. I just want a brand new thing from Bethesda as well. You know what I'm kind of hoping for? I hope it's like a better version of Star Citizen as well. Like I know Star Citizen is like an MMO and all that stuff, but like there are times where like I look at Star Citizen.
Star Citizen. Right?
You know what Star Citizen is?
I know what Star Citizen is.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's never going to come out.
Do they know what Star Citizen is?
No. You know how many times I've considered investing in that and just, like, trying it? And, like, I'm not even sure my PC can handle it.
Yeah. But there's a part of me that feels like maybe that's what Starfield will be. It's like a single-player version.
Single-player that, yeah.
But will be much more, focused. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I can see Starfield.
That's what Starfield wants to be. Starfield wants to be its own metaverse. It wants to. Yeah. It literally. That's
to be a place you can escape to. That's an entire other world.
Yeah.
That you can actually earn like real money in and stuff, and you can live in, and you can be in as much as possible.
Yeah, where everything
Yeah.
is based off of like real like cargo supply, and like kind of like how Eve Online kind of like runs.
Yeah.
Very
Got its own economy.
exactly, but like player like controlled economies and stuff like that.
I can also see an online component coming down the road. Like I don't see it coming down on launch, but I could see them thinking about like maybe online, like maybe like a GTA online thing down the
I
line.
always thought games like Fallout or Elder Scrolls, they didn't need necessarily like an MMO, which is funny that a lot
Yeah.
of those games did go
They
down
both
that.
do. Yeah. Yeah.
But I always
I,
thought a co-op option would have been good.
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
Half
exactly. I
those
would have
games
loved to see
bring
co-op.
a companion with you
Yeah.
Yeah.
already. So
I think the reason that the Elder Scrolls Online succeeded in the way that it did wasn't because the Elder Scrolls needed an MMO, but because MMOs needed a Skyrim type game.
Yeah.
yeah, it
And
has
that's
its
where they
very
succeeded.
unique
Yeah.
combat and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly. It feels more like a RPG type game rather than a
MMO.
like
Yeah.
MMO where it's a little more overwhelming. Like I found it a little easier to get into. Like I would have even liked more Skyrim type aspects out of it and everything and less MMO
Yeah.
type, but I understand why it would be very difficult to even design a game like that. Like the MMO setup works for a reason.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Also, I'm also in the camp where I feel like, you know, those last two games was not made by this, you know, Fallout 76 and Elder Scrolls Online was not made by this developer. And I feel like
Yeah.
this is going to
Proper
be,
Bethesda Studios.
yeah, like this is, and like I think back and like, you know, like I want to ask you guys these questions, but like, what is your favorite game from this team in particular? And for me, it's just like, I think about it, it's like every one of their games when they just made it on their own has been stellar. I think Fallout
I think
4 was
Oblivion.
not the greatest, but it was alright.
Oblivion is my favorite too.
For me, it's Fallout 3. I don't know if you guys have
Yeah.
yeah.
I love the Fallout games, but for me, Oblivion was the best just
Yeah.
because like it broke so many walls for me of
Mhm.
what I wanted out of a game too. And
Yeah.
not to mention that, but the beautiful world building and everything too, like sending you to Oblivion to interact with these like devilish gods and everything and just like the
too.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
and I loved Morrowind. Morrowind was
Yeah.
awesome in so many ways too, but like the way Oblivion was designed drew me in more.
Yeah. I will say I think Oblivion might be the most underrated one because a lot of people forget how amazing that game came out. Because that was like a 360 launch window game, and holy moly! Like the fact that like that game came out with that, it was yeah, that's true.
It was
I
just
remember
like
the opening. Yeah,
it blew minds. It was crazy. It was awesome.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, well. All right. Is that it for us? Is that it? I feel like that's it.
I think so. Well, I mean, we gotta remind them first before we go.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, Dan, please do that beautiful thing that you are now doing.
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no. Sorry. Go ahead, Josh. What were you?
We almost forgot. Continue, Dan.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that like button on our YouTube page. Feel free to leave a comment down below. And you'll find us on audio only on Spotify, Google Podcast. Just look for Xbox North Podcast. We're also on Reddit and Instagram. Look up Xbox North Podcast. And for Twitter, @NorthXbox.
Ooh.
Beauty.
Right.
Beauty. Nice.
Really.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you so much.
I'd love to hear it in an auto tune one day.
Yeah.
Right?
No. Sorry, I don't know how to do it. Let's see. Yeah.
We'll get that working.
Absolutely. We'll get it one time. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, gentlemen. It was a great episode. See you next time.
Have a good day, guys.
Toodaloo.